Man, I wish we'd gotten a bit of forewarning. I was going to do a bit of like mouthing that we're talking, but not actually make any noise.
I mean,
the joke is dead now.
It's dead now, but
Okay,
still.
we are back. It's Dev Clash O'Clock because it's Tuesday, and we have someone that's not Starnan and not Groogy here with us.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, though it might fall a bit flatter this time, is that they had a child, I was the outcome, and the rest is history. So I mean, you guys might know me as Menet. I've been in 2 of the past Dev Clashes, and I've been substituting for a number of different players, mostly major ones, some small ones. It's been a lot of fun.
Some even became small.
Yeah, some became smaller. I mean, I think that's the first time that's happened when I've been subbing, but first time for everyone.
that subtle gloating right there. No, look, Gujarat became 2 Gujarats under your rule. It's
exactly, that's twice the Gujarat. Yeah. I mean, that is an improvement.
Yeah, but the Groog continues to be on vacation like any good Swede does, and I think the Starnan got choked up with some other tasks. So you took this as your opportunity to bring yourself on camera even more. So we're back with the Dev Clash. I don't think we had any major wars happening when we finished off last, but if you're watching the player profiles, you'll know that there are quite a lot of people protected this time. What's up with that? Well, a considerable amount of our marketing manpower are away in Germany for something. Some kind of Gamescom,
yeah,
something like that.
It's quite mysterious. I mean, I'm not sure why you'd want to go there, right?
We might have even announced some kind of things for from Paradox. I don't know. You should probably check out Gamescom for that, but not when we've got Dev Clash happening right here and right now. So the letter Z, who was Venice, has been taken over by AI and was last session, and has really given Batman over in the Papal State a run for his money. Were you watching what happened with the Pope in the last session there?
Of course.
It has spun off a lot of brilliant fan facts in the forum.
Yeah.
About how the Papal State faces off against Venice. I think my favourite one was Venice being given the instructions to not make any enemies.
So they reduce it to none.
So they ensure there are no enemies. I was actually wondering if we could get any of those fan facts up on stream. I mean, not really for these guys' benefits, but more for me, because I want to enjoy them again. Like, they were so damn good.
That's why we're here, right? For our own enjoyment, not for the
that's
people watching.
That's the way I see it.
Exactly.
I mean, how can we tell people to enjoy our game if we don't enjoy it ourselves?
Exactly.
And I've been having the time of my life watching the Italian wars.
Yeah, and speaking of that, there's a battle incoming there.
Oh yeah, so it looks like the Venetians decided to gun down Rome, and looks like the Romans want to gun down the Venetians. Is that going to work out for them?
It's starting out well, but it's reinforced, so I don't think this is going to end well for them.
It could yet. Oh, but they got quite a number of reinforcements,
yeah,
and that is Leo being kicked out once more.
Though I think they inflicted more losses than they took, so that's something. But if they're not careful now, they'll get stack wiped.
I mean, they're tapped on manpower. They got loans. They got quite a few loans.
Yeah, he was telling me that he is literally at his mercenary cap now, so he can't get any more troops.
Yeah, well, but he's making a clever move here, though.
Yeah, he can maybe even wipe this army if he's lucky. Oh, this is scary. Oh yeah, but...
Okay, Venice decided that Rome was not the priority, but crucifying Leo was perhaps higher up there.
Yeah, and look at all those zeros. Yeah, this is not looking pretty.
That is one battered army. Mercenary cannons as well.
You don't see that very often.
No, you certainly do not.
So, I mean, the army is now down to 3,000... frontline soldiers.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have the capacity to hire more units here. He has an emergency alliance from the Netherlands coming in. Are they going to jump in to change anything of this war? Because Venice have 83% war score there. Oocha. Now we have the question coming in asking who Ethiopia is fighting. And that gives me a good opportunity to say that if you have any questions for us there in chat, then you should be tagging at Meneth.
Yeah, I have a screen up here, and it flashes slightly red whenever people try to talk to me, which doesn't happen very often, but that's life.
It's been known to happen. Unfortunately, it is Oyo's time to become part of the greater Ethiopian collective. It's a bit of prime bullying tactics here, but the Blondie has no mercy whatsoever.
Exactly. I mean, he had some on me last session. We ended with a white piece after he tried to grab the stuff I had in Africa.
But
who knows if he'll try again?
He couldn't really leverage any of that, could he? So,
no.
Oh, you've got a lot of love coming in.
Well then, now the screen is basically pure red. It's...
What have we got coming in there?
Well, a lot of hellos. I have a traitor message from D-Note, naturally.
What?
All I did was ruin his country. I mean...
That was a natural thing to do.
Yeah. One person is asking, why is Grugi playing Prussia? Maybe we should actually explain that.
Yeah, that would be a good start. So a bunch of our people are away at the moment, and one of them was our esteemed Prussian player. But Grugi, even though on holiday, said, well, you know, maybe I could sub in, trying to hide his excitement as playing as Prussia.
And so, take a look at that. So the French paradox is a bit more French now. Yeah,
I mean, after all that while of going, oh, I want to be Burgundian, no need to flip French. I guess he couldn't help but indulge in those French ideas.
Yeah, he's been telling me he wants the ideas. He doesn't really mind the name that much, but he doesn't like the colors.
Really?
He wants the Burgundian colors and the Burgundian flags.
It is a better color. It is a better flag, but this is multiplayer, and I don't think he's going to leave things like that to chance. Somebody, I think, was also asking to see the Kaiser there. This is Dietmar Shen, and just as the session opened, or rather just before it was starting, I don't think you guys got to see this, it was Blondie in Ethiopia saying, I see you in Africa. This is apparently prime Ethiopian land, the entire continent, but no, the Kaiser is getting his Dithmarshy fingers in there, and Dietmar Shen has actually returned to. Have they returned to their roots? I think that happened last session. Yeah, there we go. Return to the Peasant Republic.
The revolution is finally reborn. I mean, I had my doubts after the Kaiser betrayed the revolution, not once, not twice, but thrice.
He just has a lot of hats, and he wants to try them all on. He wants to try his dictator hat every so often.
He has almost 200 years left to betray it again, so we'll see how it goes for him.
Give him time. He'll find out what to do.
Oh, maybe he'll be a bit more careful with the Republican tradition now.
We also have a question coming in saying, is it worth it to pre-order Dharma? Well, in my completely unbiased view, you should pre-order it for yourself and all of your friends and extended family. That's what any real person would do, I'm sure.
Exactly. I mean, Dharma is pretty fun. I've been playing it, I've been substituting in Dev Clash, I've been playing it in my own time, so multiplayer on my own, and I've been having a lot of fun. And I don't work on EU4, so I'm not paid to say that.
Oh wow, that's high praise.
Oh.
Excellent. We also had a post on the forums from one of our Dev Clash people who wanted to talk about their times playing single player, because they didn't really want to talk about their experience in the Dev Clash. Who was that? I've actually forgotten who wrote that up. Was it Sidestep or?
I don't remember.
Wow, I can't remember. That's terrible of me. But the post is there on the forums. I'm sure someone's going to link it in. They played as Hamburg and had one hell of a time. So, speaking of hells of times, the Ottomans have been feeling the burn ever since the start of last session.
You know it's going badly when Serbia is occupying you.
Serbia is occupying you. AI Venice just gobbled up all that land. And, oh, there we go. The Dutch have joined in the Papal War, balancing out the war score quite a bit, but I wonder if they're going to send any actual aid. Oh, here we go.
And there's a battle going on down there as well.
Well, oh, it's the Venetians chasing them down.
Oh, and their leader died. I think he died just before the battle.
Yeah, I think we'll find that...
and that's the stack wipe coming right there.
Yeah, we now have Pius II, just inaugurated, and his armies, well...
It technically exists still? No, never mind.
All gone. I wonder if Venice are going to be able to do something about the Dutch incursion here. Many have tried, but perhaps the Venetians can be one to tip the battle here. The heavy fleet of the Dutch were able to overpower the Venetian galleys. They both have incredible admirals. Look at that, 636, 566. That truly is incredible.
Yeah. So an actual mechanic question. When you reform to a different government type, do you actually keep anything from the previous one?
So when you flip, let's say, from monarchy to a republic, let's say, you're going to have a different bunch of reforms that you can pass. You lose some reforms. So let's say you'd filled out 7, you might lose 4, and then you'll have three ones that you can choose. So Here's a good example. So you would have flipped. Let's say you already had 10 filled out, and you flipped over. You might end up with 4. You choose the 4 from your new government type, and then progress through.
So there's no remnant of Republican government once you've changed away from it.
No, you're burning that stuff down, but you're able to keep some of the progress.
That's always good.
Indeed.
And Venice is kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, I can't get over this Venetian.
And they seem to be. It fell, so they decided, no, maybe not.
Not sure if the Dutch would have been able to take on the Venetians there. They have tech parity. They've got a good general of their own. There were hills there that the Venetian could use, but this is dirty moves by the Dutch. Venice is shining here, shining bright. Could have partitioned the Pope.
Well, the fire that burns twice as bright burns out twice as fast.
Oh. How very poetic of you. Where do you get this stuff?
I don't even know. I think that's very cliche, but someone's saying that there's a free Transylvania somewhere. They're claiming.
Transylvania is trying their hardest. They're actually at war with the Ottomans.
Yeah, were they there earlier?
Serbia has declared war, Transylvania has declared war, both independently, and now France and Bavaria and the Palatinate have all joined in. So Bavaria looking to re-expand their real estate. Are they in AI hands right now? With because we know that Mike is on holiday. But did he join in? I did not know. No, looks like Bavaria is back in AI hands. So the AI programmer's country is now AI. This will be a real test for him.
I mean, he got knocked down quite hard by the AI, so...
Right. It all becomes clear. I can see in the chat, people are pointing out that the Grug in Prussia is now going to be protecting Nitra.
I can imagine, yes.
So Grugi's had a lot of love for Nitra in this campaign. He's been begging people around the office to join in, saying, oh, join a nation, you want Nitra, it's the best. But now, with nobody listening to him, he'll take matters into his own hands by using his subs situation in Prussia.
It looks like we might get some fun pictures there.
Oh man, the fan facts. And there were quite a few, so yeah, bring it all on. We don't have big player versus player wars right now, so Bratton is more honor than menace, says D-Note.
Says D-Note.
Wow.
I haven't done anything to him. I was under orders.
This is the Norway turning to Iceland.
Oh yeah.
Selling off a lot to the Dutch, which is just
I'm pretty proud of Trin for turning on me that way. I haven't seen him go for victory that way before. So
it is heartwarming.
I'm impressed. I'm not sure if it'll go well for him in the next campaign when people will remember that. But for this one, it was the right decision. So I'm impressed.
That's everybody dividing up the Ottoman Empire. We missed the one that showed Burgundy eating all that Dutch tribute coming in. Ah, there we go. The Battle Doge versus the Battle Pope. And, I think they got some kind of white peace out of it. I am severely disappointed there. It's a 5-year truce, so yeah, it must have been white peace. Dishonorable Bratton. Well, these are scrolling by way too fast. I can't even see what's going on. This is a great one. The instructions to AI Venice to not make any enemies. Another horrible murder. Gujarat cut in half by bloodthirsty, bellicose neighbors. That's not how you spell neighbors.
I mean, officially in our games, it is how you spell neighbors.
Yes, it's a fight that me and some other people have had internally that, the Queen's English must rule, but apparently we have to make our games in American English. AI programmer plays Bavaria.
I think people reacted when we changed the British flag to the American flag in some of our launchers.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Pick one or the other. I guess it is American English. This is one that I really liked. Oh. And I was saying, who will take a commission to draw a really souped up, muscular battle doge? And I don't know what this is all about, but we know that Theodoro is doing very well. I got a lot of love for what Daniel's been doing in this game with Theodoro. He started out with so very little.
Yeah,
and piece by piece, he's put an empire apart. Battle popes with their increased fire, they are something else. Poor Chagatai is getting minged pretty mercilessly. Ooh. I thought Delhi was meant to be taking on the Ming. They remain the one big AI power in the game. Yeah. But both Dai Viet and Delhi are both cowering in their shadow. Declare war on Venice. White Peace Burgundy. Get wrecked up by Venice.
And I think he actually made that one himself.
Did he?
The papal player.
Okay.
I think he made that one himself. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, and now throwing the shade around here, France is telling the Pope, this is how you crusade the Ottoman. He's got 57 war score, probably pretty easy war score for him to get as well. Has he got the capital? Also, where is the Ottoman capital? Yep, there we go, over in Sugla. I thought they might put it back into Iverin, but or Idirne, but no, they've gone for the ex-Knights land there.
I wonder what the French want out of this war, though. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, what could they even be demanding? They might want their own little holiday home over here. Perhaps they want to protect Theodoro. Perhaps they want to threaten Theodore. It's hard to know, but France has the power to do pretty much what they want right now, because as long as the Dutch are willing to bend the knee to them, they have all the finances that they need coming from the extremely lucrative English Channel, where, oh boy,
that is quite the channel.
The Dutch make a sick amount of money. I mean, they're making all the money you would as for having all of Britain, but also having mainland areas. Not really anything coming in colonially, other than old New York.
I mean, they have Indonesia, don't they? So they're probably starting to funnel some trade from over there.
There we go. Yeah, they probably have decent trade opportunities, because they don't have to worry about collecting in multiple places, since they already dominate English Channel.
Although apparently they have all of 3% power there. That's impressively low.
Yeah, one wonders. I guess they don't want that trade going over to Delhi, because I'm sure Delhi make plenty dosh of their own.
Chat is claiming that Venice got a province in southern Italy. So it wasn't even a white piece, it was actually giving up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Impressive stuff.
And those aren't bad provinces either. That's
let me do something unthinkable here, and there we go.
Yeah, slightly more readable chat is always good to have.
I'm waiting for Drugi's power play with
Chat is
Prussia.
claiming that that was actually sold to Venice, not conquered.
Sold?
Yeah.
Well, there is no Pope Corps.
Yeah, so
It wouldn't make sense for the 5-year truce if they'd managed to do that. So perhaps there was an agreement. You know, please end this war fast. I'll give them something else. But how could the Pope surrender land to the heretics like this? I don't understand. Just putting a buffer zone there. Come to think of it, did it go away from the Pope or did it go away from Naples?
Ooh, that's a good question. Can we see the history?
It was Naples that sold the land to Venice.
Selling off 50 development.
And,
I mean, it's a brave move.
And Naples said, I'm just creating a buffer zone between me and the Pope. Yeah, they're Catholics. They should be working together like any good Italian does.
Yeah.
Not inviting France into their lands.
That's a fair point.
So the Ottomans have peaced out with Serbia. Serbia are looking, dare I say, strong. They have taken over much of Albania. They grabbed Ho-Hum. They still have some cores that they didn't take back for whatever reason.
I mean, who needs cores, right?
Well, not when they could take Zagreb. So no, I'm not sure I understand Serbian motivations here, but who does? We're being asked where can we listen to the Dharma soundtrack. That's a good point. Part of it is used for our awesome player profiles, but I think if I can be reminded after this, we'll see about getting that mixed into the background music that we use for the Dev Clash.
And I imagine it'll eventually.
Does that sound possible? Ears in the wall. Does that sound possible?
Maybe.
Oh, we're getting some. Okay, you can't say it on this side, but we have a view into the studio booth where we're seeing some rampant thumbs up, but also a lot of chaos going on in there. Okay, we'll make it a reality if I can remember.
Yeah.
I would say you guys remind me, but I did that once before. I think it was for the Blue Flames for PvP Wars.
I mean, we got them eventually.
Yeah,
right?
I was reminded every day for months, even after they were put in.
And now you'll probably get some more reminders just to remind you.
Well, oh god. But where are the blue flames? Where are the blue flames? What other flames are they going to want next? So Dithmarschen continues to go from strength to strength. They are also there in the high dosh category, but not from trade.
Yeah.
They're getting it from, whoa!
Oh, that's a large name.
From shares in name size. I think they just took top dog for largest name in the world.
Yeah.
Whew.
I mean, with their name, they have to be really careful because due to how the name generation works, the moment the name starts to actually intersect that tiny little Dutch province, it will get tiny again.
Yeah, it's going to have some problems. It's you were recently messing around with how the name generation on map works. Can you pop open the lid on that a bit for anyone?
Yeah. Basically, if you control every single province around a sea zone, then your name pretends that sea zone is part of your country. So therefore you can connect your country across sea zones. This is most visible in Indonesia, which was horrible before because you would end up with like 15 separate names.
Yeah, I mean,
and now if you control all of it, you just get Indonesia in big letters across the entire thing.
Because previously it was a case of I'm Spartacus, I'm Spartacus, I'm Spartacus. But now, and we've seen some good screenshots of this where you just hold this and it has your name going right the way across.
Exactly.
Which is pretty glorious.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anywhere in this campaign where we can see it in action.
Yeah, not a lot of people having
oh yeah, Kilwa there, you can see it.
Ah, here we go, yeah. So previously we would have had a Kilwa here and a Kilwa here.
Yeah.
But now it goes, well, you know, it's pretty close by, there's just one sea zone. It considers you owning these sea zones.
Yep.
And just
for the purpose of naming. And there are some exceptions, like single province islands are just not considered because it gets really strange. Like with Portugal, for instance, their name would stretch all the way to the Azores.
That would be pretty good.
It was quite interesting.
Yeah, it's like Portugal just saying, no, I own this, actually.
Yeah, so you basically need 2 bits of land that are both bigger than one province, and you need to control every single bit of land adjacent to the sea zone.
But this is a case of where we saw something in game and went, you know, this would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And just wham it in. And that was that was done in the England update, if I recall.
That sounds about right. I mean, I was a bit bored at home, so I decided, why not?
And we're being praised in the chat by Plumber Joe, of all people. This is honestly one of the best additions in years, no joke. So there you go, you've done the best thing for the game.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's talking about that.
Of course. I mean, what else do you need from the game? It's about having the biggest name.
We do have name wars going on in this, that's for sure.
Yeah, one person is wondering if someone colonized like the islands between Madagascar and Kilwa, if that would mess it up. And no, it wouldn't in this case because it's this sea zone there, the coast there, that's considered owned by Kilwa. That island is currently colonized by the Netherlands. If it's been colonized by Kilwa instead, they would also be considered to own that sea province. But in this case, that probably wouldn't change anything other than slight alignment for the name.
And there we have it.
Yeah.
Right, we were getting some talks about Nitra fighting back or pushing someone back. I didn't quite get what was going on there, but they are currently attacking Alsace. But that's because their ally Baden is doing it. For some reason, Nitra is allied with Prussia. Can't begin to imagine.
Yeah. Shouldn't Prussia march in and deal with those rebels for Nitra?
That would be the honourable thing to do. But, you know, Prussia, they're having manpower problems, obviously. Yeah, not enough money in the bank. They can't commit to this kind of thing.
Exactly.
We'll see. I'm actually surprised why he's actually going away from where those rebels are. You'd think he'd want to stop Hungarian separatists from causing troubles for Nitra. But yeah, I mean, the motivations for Prussia are a black box of unknown. That said, though, Nitra should really get their lands back from Austria. Aha, this might be part of the master plan. Send the Hungarians into Austria. But I think we'll find the Austrians will dispatch them before too long.
I imagine so, but at least it saves Nitran manpower.
I thought Dino had a lot of work to do today, but he's just fun posting in the chat, and now he's saying, grow Nitra, Krugi, or you fail at EU4.
I mean, he's just playing EU4 on a different level.
Yeah, there's different planes of playing EU4. We're being asked about great power status, so we'll have a quick look there. Ming actually still dominates right now because they haven't really been jostled by any of the players, and they've had a good stable run for it. So they're top dog, at least until Dithmarschen can grow enough. But then France is behind after a wee bit of a jump, and nearby are the Persians, the Dutch.
And, well, Delhi is up there, except apparently their technology is half a century out of date.
Still needing to embrace global trade for whatever reason.
I mean, what even is trade, right? I mean, judging by their income, they're not quite sure.
Ethiopia and Spain too. Let's actually have a look at that for Delhi. Did Delhi actually have a subject? I thought they... No, they do not. Here we go. So global trade apparently is too expensive for them. Now, by this point, I'd honestly just take a loan or two to advance that.
Yeah.
Or debase or something to get some extra cash flowing.
Exactly, because you get that extra merchant, and that can do quite a lot for you.
Strategic use of a merchant for Delhi.
We have some blue flames going on there.
We do. What is Hanover up to? It's clearly Hanover's fault. No, it's the Prussian conquest of Bells. But once again, Theodoro is involved because Theodoro still can't let go of the PLC. I strongly doubt that the Goths are going to get involved in this fighting, at least placing any troops around. So what do you suspect Prussia's up to? Is this just expansion, or is there a
I think they just want
deeper
some
meaning
lands.
to it all?
I'm guessing they just want some lands. People are saying that France is in Anatolia, so maybe we should check out what they actually took.
Right, well, Isel and just Isel?
No, we have... Or is that Ethiopia?
That is Ethiopian.
Oh.
The blues are beginning to collide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a single French province, but it might be the start of something bigger.
Okay, I was going to say the Ottomans have maybe concluded all their wars now, but nope. The Korean conquest of the Kurils? What?
I think they might have colonized or
Okay,
something?
so the Ottomans decided they wanted a holiday home in the Kurils, but no. And what else are they involved in here? They've got the Persian conquest, the Dutch, the AI Venice again. AI Venice is just looking for a bloodbath.
Yeah.
They already got land in Italy, and they decided that wasn't enough. They must ensure that Serbia remains disconnected.
Yeah, Venice brings the fight.
And
Now,
we have...
take a look at what the other players took from the Ottomans. They seem to have formed a physical wall here for Persia.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a wall against Persia, because Persia has aligned themselves with the Ditmarshen abroad and the Delians, who have shown to slaughter.
I mean, just one of the two obviously is not enough. It's not enough to just have the biggest player. You also need the second biggest player and the third biggest player.
There's a lot of things coming in from chat that I'm trying to stay on top of here, and one of such is asking where the manufactories spawned, and it's right here in former Kale land. In fact, it was the super well-developed land from, I forget what he calls himself in the game, Emil.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Well. Emil, anyway, the player of Kale, had one hell of a metropolis built here, and erected a mill, and that has ended up being the birthplace of proto-industrial mills. Got to get that Kale glassware out there. So now manufactories spread across the world. Yeah, poor Ottomans.
He calls himself Egladil, apparently.
Egladil, there we go. Thank you. And yes, today we talked about the achievements that are being brought into the 126 Mughal update and the Dharma expansion. Kale got their own one, as we'd hinted at before. It is Eat Your Greens. What they have to do is, by the age of absolutism, consume all of the grasslands in Asia. Now, you're a seasoned player at EU4. How would you rate this?
It's not an easy one, especially since it has a time limit.
Yes. So realistically, you're looking at 1610 or so to beat this achievement. And your westmost provinces, there's not a lot. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, right? No big deal. A few here up in, I think this land is Kokand. There we go. But India is rife with grasslands.
Yeah. Then there's Ming.
Ming actually is mostly farmlands, but you're still going to have to deal with them for the north here. From Changde to Gaizhou, a bunch of Koreans, a whole lot of the Japanese, and then the southeast. I mean, not to mention you'll have to get yourself up into Siberia too.
Yeah, it would be enough of a challenge even without the time limits.
So you got your work cut out for you.
I'm sure people will be able to.
Yeah, in fact, I'm really looking forward to the strategies that people cook up to make that one a reality. Obviously, I could do it with both my eyes shut, but I want to see the people do what they can do. I'm not sure I'll be giving that one a go in a hurry.
And Yuan is very impressed with your pronunciation in Japan.
What? I don't think I spoke about any Japanese ones. I was talking about the Chinese ones. I think I was talking about Changde and Guangzhou, but...
apparently they look similar to him.
My Japanese isn't bad. It's not good, but I wouldn't say it's bad. Okay.
Someone's also asking, does this include uncolonized provinces, these
I
grasslands?
believe so. Yeah, it does. It has to be owned by Kale or Kale's subjects.
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
So yeah, you're gonna have to invest in colonialism. You got 2 ages to do it. That's bags of time. So like I said, looking forward to that. That is just one of the 20 achievements, and I can see in the chat there and also there, people have linked the dev diary there. I'm also encouraging healthy habits. Eat your greens, people. It's good for you. It's good for Kale. It's also fun to draw attention to otherwise fairly non-infamous nations on the map.
Yeah. Apparently the Dutch have landed in Japan.
Oh man. Is there anything they'll leave alone? Is that them right? No, that's Kikuchi.
That's not Dutch.
They are not
The
Dutch.
chat lied to me. That's not very nice of them.
That's what they do. But let's see. Is it war with the Ottomans, Baya, and Pasai? None of those look particularly Japanese, but who am I to judge? Theodore has stepped out of this PLC war. I wonder if they're actually going to give up Poland as an ally sometime soon. I mean, they have France, the Dutch, Ethiopia, and Delhi. Could Theodoro need any more allies? Is this... If Starnan were on the phone, I'd be asking him, do we have a hug box here? Because, I mean, if we can actually see everything in the world, that's a lot of hugging.
That's quite the hugging.
Yeah. As somebody that fought Theodoro, do you have any strong feelings on the matter?
I mean, especially they fought. I don't think their troops ever actually met mine. Though that's mostly my fault, because in the first war I just pieced them out for what they asked for, rather than actually trying to fight them off. Since I was busy enough with the Delian and Persian troops.
Oh yeah,
So...
but it was a war well fought. It's just a shame that nobody came to the aid of poor Gujarat.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
think-
Gujarat is still quite a strong country. It's just
Yeah.
that they have no chance against the other 2 strong countries around them.
Not unless they got some incredible support. And I don't think France and Viet. Well, honestly, if France were actually involved in this, and that could be what this is all about. France is trying to set themselves up here
Yeah.
to be able to invade Persia if they dare strike at Gujarat.
Yeah.
I feel bad for this, though, all these particulars taking over the land, and there's naught Gujarat can do. They're walled in on all sides. But I believe Gujarat can do something incredible here. Gujarat might even consider giving this to Ethiopia in exchange for Ethiopian support against Persia, but
I mean, it's a possibility. They're no longer allied to Persia.
yeah,
so...
but Ethiopia and Gujarat
Ah.
are rivaled with each other.
True, but he's allied with France. They're both allied with France. So if France could declare the war, then we have a chance, and that would be better for them, because then they can't just occupy all of Gujarat to end the entire war.
Yeah, there we go. So
I mean, they can knock out Gujarat though, so it would still be very painful for them. But what else are they gonna do? Things are gonna be painful for
France
them no matter
could
what.
be stepping up to their international responsibilities then
Yeah.
after dominating Western Europe. That said, they're keen to continue that domination. They're growing ever closer to Portugal, and I know somebody in chat was asking what's going on in Australia for whatever reason. Yeah, that's the Portuguese there. They've almost completely finished taking the whole area over. I'm often curious about what trade goods spawn in Australia, because they have an interesting variety of what can spawn. I like the fact they get incense. I just think of it as Fosters. These are the provinces that produce Fosters down in Australia, but it doesn't look like they've got any gold. They have one last chance at it, but it's a 3% chance.
Who knows?
Never tell me the odds there.
Rare things have happened.
Yeah, they've not really gone for anything in that island where Lord of the Rings was shot, so we'll see if they make anything of that. Otherwise, no big player wars going on at the moment. There was another question that came up in chat, and I've already forgotten what it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Well, someone's wondering when the Dutch took Gibraltar, because apparently they have it now.
They just get around, don't they? Thankfully, we have these province histories to check that out.
And that's
That must
a
have
long
been,
time ago.
Yeah, considerably long ago. They got that in 1616. That might have even been before last session.
Yeah, or towards the very end.
But why? Why would the Dutch,
Very start, rather.
Why would the Dutch do that? France is now eating up Brittany, and I feel kind of off about that. Burgundy was keeping Brittany alive for the longest of times, but they've had a bit of a change of heart now.
Yeah, I think the logic was that, well, Brittany isn't really French.
Yeah, I wonder.
So-
I wonder if they're wanting to go down their mission path at all. I mean, they do have the
I
subjugate
imagine so.
Bretons
They have
here.
some pretty good missions in there.
There we go. I mean, France really won out on the mission changes in Rule Britannia. They already had quite a few missions from the old system to convert over to it. So they chipped away a bit at Brittany.
And we got a player war again. Portugal versus Dithmarschen. That will be painful for Portugal, I think.
That will be. It was the early wars where Portugal had that slight advantage, but just didn't press it hard enough. And now what is this war even about? Dithmarschen conquest of the Bahamas.
So we'll see it. Does he only want the stuff in the Americas?
Down with the old reactionaries.
Well, he is a kingdom, so...
I'm reminded of one of the very old fan facts where there was a cartoon. People in the New World are shouting, Ave, Ave. And the Portuguese thinking, they're shouting, Avis, they love you, my king. That didn't work out for Portugal, but it made for an excellent early player war between the Kaiser and the single player...
champion.
Well, I think that's Katz. Katz is the single player champion. And he's proving that once again down in Kielwa, where he's keeping himself a low profile. And he's not actually... Oh, he was sick today, as I recall. So I guess he didn't make it in for this. I forgot to mention that to anybody to say that he's protected. I'm sure people will understand and not attack poor Kielwa.
Apparently the fan fact you're referring to has been linked in chat. Maybe we can get it up
on
screen.
But yeah, if we can get that one up on screen, I would be beside myself in joy, because they're all my favourite, but that one is my favourite. Why is Kielwa at war with Portugal? So AI Kielwa has decided to also go to war with Portugal, this time the conquest of Songye. Kielwa is under the protection of Ethiopia, whilst Krugi just says om nom nom. So Kielwa has decided that all this Congolese land that Millen Double S has taken actually belongs to Kielwa Kiel.
Someone in chat is commenting that Katz is so good at single player we didn't even notice him not joining.
And that is why he is the king. Millen Double S, he tries, but he ain't the king. Like, here we go. I've been waiting for this. Can you hear that, sire? The oppressed peoples of Dithmarschen call your name. They will welcome liberation. Ave, ave, ave. Will be welcomed as heroes. Ah, fantastic.
Ooh, we have war in India.
That we do. A lot more blue flames popping up.
France is involved.
Who's causing this? What's going on? Well, Gujarat has been attacked, I will imagine. Yes, they're defending against Delhi. The Delhi reconquest of Samamala. So they're at war with Delhi, Persia, Armenia, and Theodoros. Theodoros remembering their grudge with the Gujarati. But Gujarat is not without help. They have France and Diaries. Now, Diaries probably couldn't one-to-one against Delhi, but that's still 60-odd thousand units I'd rather was on my side than not. And the Gujarati look like they can still pack a punch here.
Yeah,
they're down but not out. But Persia, in order for Persia to really be threatened, they would need to be taken out. And here we go, the French leveraging their strong ideas, their strong everything.
Speaking of being taken out.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm guessing they forced military access on the Ottomans in addition to taking that one province to ensure that they could go where they needed to be.
So
that Persian morale, though, is insane. Yeah. They will be losing here, but only just. And
that's incredible. Wow.
Outnumbered like 2-1.
Yeah, in mountains, no less.
Yeah.
And don't forget the Delians have an enormous army and the economy to back it themselves. To the point where they can fight on both fronts, it seems, although they are being pushed back. I think they underestimated what Diviet can bring to this party.
Yeah.
Okay, but is anybody else going to get involved for the Gujaratis?
Because what I remember from my fight is that as Gujarat, they can take on Delhi alone. It's the Persian troops that are the real problem because their morale is insane.
Yeah, in fact, we can get an idea on that. If we go to army quality, we can look at allies and enemies and compare it. So morale, France is only just beating out Persia. So those guys would need to square off against each other. Whilst Diviet and Gujarat are more level pegging with Delhi. At least in terms of morale, when it comes to discipline against France...
You don't want to go up against France.
No, clearly not. I think that's what helped them win over against the Persians here. And they have the fully professional army with, incredible tradition as well. So that French army, born in like a melding pot of fire.
Theodorus left the war, apparently.
Yeah, Theodore decided, no, I will not take part in this... unjustifiable
Oh, battle going on, maybe?
Maybe. Oh,
no.
okay, so the French are going for it. The French aren't committing a ton of troops to this, as best I can tell. They have other wars going on.
What's the terrain like there?
Wow, it's level pegging, but the French are destroying those Persians.
Not quite a stack wipe,
No,
but still.
But the French had... Okay, they were pretty much level pegging on composition.
Yeah.
The French general isn't actually that great. He's a 2-3-6.
Still better than the Persian one, though.
He's someone you want sieging, and he knows that. Look at that. You could take that in one swoop with or without a barrage. That's incredible.
Though that is an incredibly outdated fort. It's not good for much.
Okay, so they have access all through the areas, but will France dedicate their troops all the way over there? In terms of numbers, that's not the biggest army you'll ever see.
No, Gujarat's is larger for one.
Yeah.
So Gujarat actually has like the second biggest player army, I think.
Yeah, if we look at it from this point of view, they actually win on the numbers front, but the home advantage is very strong for Persia and Delhi here.
Gujarat is headed all the way over here instead.
Okay.
Maybe they're trying to join up with the Diaries, which is
incredibly. Divet is pushing Delhi even further back, taking over the lands that Delhi very underhandedly took away from the R laser.
And if they can get one more fort down there, they will actually have joined up with the Gujarati forces, which is always nice.
Pretty incredible, yeah. So the Gujaratis decided that attack them from where they least expect it. If they can join up with the Dai Vietnamese, and
it helps, though by that time the Persian have probably joined up.
Oh, the French are
slightly outnumbered.
Going to wish they'd doubled down here as well, because the Persians have arrived in their droves and driven the French away. Okay, so what will the French do now? It's a long way to walk, but they do have the transports, and, you know, thanks to getting this outpost, can dedicate units over there.